I was born in the family of photographers. My grandfather was in business. He was doing a photography business. My father was a photographer. He was shooting and processing. My grandfather was really instrumental in getting me interested into collecting these cameras, because he was the first one to present me some of the early cameras which I have. This camera, it's a Rolleiflex, was quite extensively used by my father. This is a Hasselblad. This was called the Rolls Royce of cameras. This is the camera which they first a camera to go to moon. When Apollo landed on the moon in 1970s, this was the camera which they carried. My grandfather, Amar Nath Mehta, was born in Deenanagar. Deenanagar is a small village in Gurdaspur district of Punjab. My grandfather was, I think when he was 15 or something around 15 or so, his parents were murdered. His parents were murdered for their property. So my grandfather, getting to know that they were poisoned, he ran away from home, taking his younger siblings to Dalhousie, where her maternal grandparents, that's Nana Nani, used to live there. As they ran away from home in Dalhousie, he started learning photography. He understood the ways of taking photographs from the Britishers who were there during the summer holidays. And since 1915, they opened up a studio in a houseboat. And in the houseboat, they started taking portraits and other things. That was in the Jhelum River. Opposite the Jhelum River, the Bund, which is a very posh marketplace, was there. That's where he got the first Mahatta store to come up. Things started working. They started a laboratory. They started selling products. They became Kodak dealers, and they opened up a studio, and the name started to spread. And Mahatta and Company became Mahatta Limited. These are the Kashmir views which were done in the early 1920s to the 1950s by the family. My grandfather and R.C. Mehta combined. Now this is the Maharaja himself sitting with all his shikar. That was another big thing at that time, the shikar shots which were done. Now this is the shikara ride through the Jhelum River. Darbar used to change from Jammu to Kashmir when the Kabalis from Pakistan came into Kashmir, and my grandfather asked his family to run away to Delhi while he stayed back in Kashmir looking after the property and the business. When he used to tell me, I was sitting in the house with petrol all around me and thinking, if the Kabalis come into Srinagar, I'm going to burn the whole place down and I'm going to then run away. I'm not going to leave this for the Pakistanis once they come to Kashmir. That's how our transfer from Kashmir to Delhi came about. Well, there was a saying at one time that if a girl is not photographed in Mahattas, then her marriage cannot take place. When Hillary and Tenzing went up to Mount Everest, they climbed Mount Everest, we were the people who processed those films. Then my grandfather thought of sending Madan to England to study photography, and he was put into Guildford School of Art and Craft, where he learned photography, the art of photography. And during that period, that is 1950s, AGFA introduced color in Europe. In 1952, the first negative positive prints in India were done in our studio, in our laboratory in Connaught Place, right here in Delhi. Kodak came to India 6 months after we introduced color in India. My father was what you call a workaholic. At that time, in the 1950s, Delhi was being built. And he was photographing all that during that period, from early 50s to the late 80s. That was how we have so much backup of images which show how India has grown. My father was invited when at that time the King of Bhutan was being coronated for his coronation. And I think this was the image which was used on all their currencies, notes and other things at that time. a lot of photographers like Raghu Rai, Paul Saab, Dayanita, Dheeraj Singh, they all used to be here getting the films processed. With time and with the coming in of web shopping like Amazon, Flipkart and all these, it started affecting our sales of cameras and other things. So in 2017, we shut down our showroom. We shut down our black and white and color laboratories because digital has totally taken over. And the old system was literally shut down. Though I still have enlargers, I still have the dishes, I still maintain all those things. Papers and newspapers said Mahatta's closed down, Mahatta's closed down. But we had to tell them we were still working. We converted our labs into modern digital labs totally. We are still archiving our images. It's not that we don't earn money. Yes, people buy the images. All old images are being sold, and we make money out of that also.